Hey, what's up? It's Aaron. So what I'm going to do right now is give you a little tour about how I use this amazing software called Call Hero, and you'll see this is their sales page. But Call Hero is great because it allows me to track incoming phone calls, listen to the recordings, train my staff, see when people are calling our clinic, so I know when people we need to have staff up front answering the phones because if you're missing incoming phone calls, you're losing out on revenue. So this is my Call Hero dashboard. This is kind of the back end. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through how we use this, and then if at the end you're interested in learning more about Call Hero, there will be some links below this video where you can get a free call grading service. It's 30 days where they will monitor your incoming calls and tell you when you're missing phone calls, so you know when you need to have people answering the phones. This is important because if you have admin staff already and they're scheduled between, I don't know, like 8 and 3, or they go to lunch at 12, and let's say you miss 5 phone calls between 12 and 1, maybe they need to be taking their lunch from 1 to 2 and not at 12 and 1. Or if you haven't yet hired someone and you're missing phone calls, you'll see what time of the day you need to put them in. And let's say you're treating patients from 8 to noon and you miss 5 phone calls then, or you're treating patients in the evening, you're missing phone calls. Well, how fast or how many more patients can you get in your clinic if you have someone staffing the telephones? So one of the neat things is this morning, I was checking my email and I get this great email from Call Hero. It says, "Congratulations, you have had a new win back." And this is actually a new feature that they have, and what that means is it says, hey, an existing client or someone who didn't book before has now scheduled an appointment. So you'll see down here, it says winbacks, revenue gain, $3,600. So this is a number that I assign to our client value as existing client value. So that's one patient visit, and then this is lifetime value. So 1,800 is a little bit less than what someone would pay to pay in full for one of our plans of care. But you have to take into account that each of our patients isn't just worth about $2,000. They're worth about $2,000 plus anyone that they refer. So potentially our patients would be worth $10,000 or more, even if it's an existing client and they come in for one visit. So this doesn't track visits, but you'll see in a minute how we can tell when people book an appointment. So this is from yesterday. So yesterday we had 11 calls and we missed 8 of them, which is kind of crazy. It's like, oh my gosh, we only answered the phone 27% of the time. But when you go in, you'll see a majority of these calls are like robocalls. So that kind of skews it, and Amber looks at them and goes, oh, I'm not going to answer it. But if we look at the last 30 days, you'll see, okay, our answer rate's 50%, which is kind of low. Again, there's a good chunk of robocalls and a good chunk of time when people are calling when we're just not here, like on Saturdays. And we've had some crazy days where we're really busy and we're kind of bumping up the capacity where Amber's actually unable to answer phone calls right now because she's checking out so many people and talking to people. And we're at a point where I almost need to hire another person, or I really do. If I hire another admin and we're able to answer 80% of our calls, will that mean that we have enough patients where I can hire another PT? Or do I need to hire a PT first? Well, when I look at this, I go, I need to be answering the phones more, and to hire someone to answer the phones is less of an investment than hiring a PT. So let's look at the last 3 months, 53%, last 12 months overall, 64%. So let's go back to the last 30 days. I'll show you some neat stats. So it'll show total calls. If I click on this, okay, here's the calls. So let me go back. Opportunities, did not book. Okay, so let me show you. Okay, that's not what I want to show. Okay, so let's go to, here it is, reports. This is where I want to head right now. So this will show you, what time are people calling? So we had 3 calls at 2 p.m., but look at this. Yesterday we had 3 calls at 4 p.m. and no one answered. Well, yesterday was Monday, and I'm pretty sure everyone left about 3:30 because it's Monday. So, we do long weeks, and I've got one person, Amber, working all week long. So Mondays and Friday evenings, we leave a little early some days, and I'm pretty sure that's what happened here. So I need to have someone there, but that's only for that one day? So we need to look at more than just that. So let's look at this last week. Okay, you can see how by week for the last 5 weeks, where our call percentage is. Like we had less calls, but we were really low. Okay, and then let's go month to month. This is April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So we're not doing too bad. I think for us in our clinic, good is probably over 60%. Bigger clinics with multiple people working, the phones should be answering 80, even 90% of phone calls. Like really, can we answer 90% of the phone calls? That would be great. Yes, some people call late at night, but let's see. I think we had a phone service issue this month, so I know that was part of the problem with our phone line and everything. But let's say, let me just show you September. It's November right now, so October's cleared out. I'll show you what September looks like. If I click on it, it'll show me what the different weeks are. And I go, okay, this is 60% of calls answered, but you can see total call volume is low. And then I can go back in here and see, okay, Monday, all right, and call rate. We missed 2 of 3 calls, so that brings us way down. But so you see, as a low volume clinic, that one day can bring us down, but over time it should be helpful. Okay, and then Friday we answered both the calls. We got 100%. Okay, so I'll show you down let's see, what's the lowest day? 52, 54. Well, let's look at Monday again. Monday, you can see we did answer the calls at 3 and 4, so we were here. But look at this. We got 6 calls during lunch on that Monday. So number one lesson that I can see here is that if I have a second person, and what I really need to do is we need to stagger our calls, or we stagger our lunches, because people in the world are going to have lunchtime off, and they're going to want to call about physical therapy, especially on a Monday. Okay, so let me go back and see, what does Wednesday look like? Well, here's 2 calls at 12 o'clock. Okay, and we missed them both. All right, here's 9 a.m. 3 calls, we missed 2 at 9 a.m. and between 9 and 10. Gosh, what happened there? If I click on it, it doesn't change anything. But let's see, watch, I can show all hours of the day, and it'll show, okay, no one's calling there. So what happens when I go like this and show me, these are all hours and then open hours. You can see our numbers will change a little bit. Okay, so if I show open hours, 60%. So clearly in April we had calls, you can see that changes. We have calls after hours. So what happens when I click here and I say all hours, open hours. All hours, they all change. So when are people calling? Open hours, all hours. Open hours. When are people calling? Let's see, where's the one we're going to look at? 46, 46. This Thursday. So we're having people call outside of open hours. On Thursday, when did they call? Let's see, show me all hours. Boom. 6 p.m. So we had people call after one person call after 6 o'clock on that day. It didn't tell me, I don't think it's going to tell me exactly what time. You see that? And I can change the answer rate, missed calls rate. Okay. So that's one way that this is really helpful. And if you do the call grading service, you'll get a report like this. It'll be similar, and I'll show you when you're missing your phone calls. So that link is below. You get a free call grading. There's a link below. I believe it's LeBauerConsulting.com/call grader, and you can sign up for that. So let me show you what it looks like when we go into, let me go back to my dashboard. Okay, so this is yesterday, missed calls. Oh gosh, 27%. This is crazy. So let's go look at the missed calls. All right. Here we are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So no voicemail hang up. Okay. Hang up and ring, left voicemail, left voicemail, left voicemail, left voicemail, left voicemail. So this is the same person calling twice. Wants to book an appointment, and then they called back to cancel. And I know that they called back to cancel because they want to use their insurance. Well, what happened was they were like in a car accident over the weekend. A friend said, hey, call these guys. And she found out, realized that we weren't in network. And it's like, oh, I need to use my in network stuff too. I mean, our perfect patient, our avatar client, is someone that's had pain for quite a while, and generally has tried a couple other things first. So, maybe she'll be back. But anyways, what I can do is I can listen. I can click here and I can listen to the call, and then I can download it. I can do a lot of different things. I can star it. You'll see there's another section where I can leave notes for my staff, but I can listen to it and use it for training and come back with my staff. So I'm meeting with Amber today, and we can come back and review calls. We can review what worked and what didn't. So let's go. You'll see when I click on missed calls, it allows me to play, and then I can play the call. I can download it if I want to go through it faster or slower. It gives me a little transcript of the information. It tells me it was called, and then we can put in a little note, hey, we called them back, and it gives their name over here. And then I can even use this to call them back. I can just click on it, and it says it's unresolved because we've called them back, but we haven't heard back. So she'll leave these here until we hear back from them. Okay, and then you'll see all the resolved ones. So look at all these. This is spam, spam, spam. These are just like robocalls. This is a win back, so it's a returning patient. This is interesting. So this is a patient that just came in years ago. This is someone calling just to reschedule. So you'll see we have pages of resolved, starred. Sometimes I'll star them because, to review, or we'll star them for a couple different reasons. Let's see, did not book. Let's see. Yeah, so here's a patient who didn't book. Price was her issue, but she really only wanted it because she was told in order to get a refill on her pain meds, she needs to try PT. And she even asked us just to write her a note that says she tried us. And we're like, you can't. Here's someone else. The reason they didn't book was insurance, but they're a Medicare beneficiary right now in our business. As a cash practice, we only see some Medicare beneficiaries, not all, and they have to meet certain criteria to be seen in our business, in our practice, because we're not a Medicare provider. More on that later if you're interested in why. Go check out my blog, LeBauerConsulting.com, where I have plenty of articles over there about Medicare patients. I have flags. I think I did this. So I can flag calls to Amber. And for her to review, or anyone else on our team, I can go to call logs, and this will show a bunch of calls, like all the different calls from all the different days, hours, etc. Okay, snapshot. All right, this week, our answer rate, 27%. Okay, if I click on it, I think that gives me an overall percentage for the month, I think. Booking rate, we didn't book any this week. Well, when I'm recording this, it's Tuesday morning. Number of calls, we've received 11. And then answer rate, 47%. This is the last 30 days, so 47%. Okay, and then I showed you reports, so I can do a lot with this. And then there's also a training academy. So I can have my staff, hey, go back and watch this little training video, which is a great part about Call Hero. Champions, I believe this is just more training as well, onboarding training, and then settings, where I can come in and I can change our open hours. So 8 to 6 every day, 10, almost really, like, we don't see patients past 3, so I could go and edit those. But that doesn't mean people aren't calling me until 6 o'clock on Monday, and it doesn't count. So I can change how many rings it goes into abandoned calls, and etc. And then each person, saying staff management, each person on staff has a separate login where they can log in and see things they don't get to see as much as I do. Let's see, I can have different people in here active. Let's see, Tyler is no longer active, so I'll unactivate him because he was my Cash PT resident. And I have people listed as practitioners, the different login accounts, etc. So we can do this becomes our voicemail. So we've got a voicemail, one for night and weekend and one for the weeks, and then do not book settings, actively generates a list of did not books, yes. Staff can access winbacks including call recordings, yes, because I want them to be able to have that. So you see there's a lot of different things in here. So I want to be sent my daily stats, weekly stats, and winback notifications. So every day I get an email with our stats. There's the clinic. And then let's see, my profile, log out, dashboard. So one of the best ways that I use this is that even if I'm not here, I can see the health of our clinic because I can see, okay, the last 30 days, we've answered 50% of our calls. Like that needs to improve. It really does. If I go back and let's say custom range, let's look at the beginning of the year. Let's see, what were we in like January? January through February. 73%. Okay, what was happening in January through February where we were answering 73% of our calls? Well, our patient volume was lower. So you see that? So January through February, we answered 73% of our calls, then our patient volume went up and our answer rate went down. Because what does it mean when our patient volume goes up? It means that Amber, who's the only person sitting out front answering phone calls, is now twice an hour at the top of the hour, checking people in and checking people out. And there's probably a 30-minute window at the top of the hour, 15 minutes on each side, where she's unable to take phone calls. And so really, she's only able to answer phone calls between quarter after and quarter till. And what does that mean? Looking at this, it means I need to find another admin person and probably get them started. And as long as we're answering phone and train them up, and as long as we're answering phone calls and booking new patients, and we get a full schedule, then we should be able to hire another PT because we'll have more patients scheduled. You see how that works? So it's a really powerful, software that's just really helpful to me. So if I'm on vacation, I can still get a pulse on the health of the business by what's our answer rates, how are the phone conversations going, and how do we continue to improve them? Because if I look at the did not book, and I can go through these and go through them one at a time with Amber, and we can improve our script and improve our conversion rate from the phone into one of our physical therapy visits or massage visits or total body diagnostics, then we will grow our clinic. Hopefully this was helpful for you. So if you're interested in checking out Call Hero yourself, there's a link below to get a free personalized demo for you and your business, as well as a link below to get the free call grading service where for 30 days, Call Hero will monitor your incoming calls and let you know how many you're answering, how many people you're booking, and where the times are that you need to have more people answering phones. Thank you very much. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next training.